as far as the financial aspects of this are concerned, you can get in there, and there are mechanisms when you have a non-commercial financial system to make sure that the losses are not spreading throughout the financial system from one bank to another, from one lender to another, given the way these liabilities work. However, there is an interim problem that we need to recognize, and the interim problem is what you just discussed. Chinese property prices have been essentially in free fall, and sales have been suffering because of the declining values of homes. And that does not look like it's going to be arrested anytime soon. And that creates a bigger headache for China and for the Communist Party to deal with now.
Now, with this weakness in the property prices, Shehzad, we're looking at the mainland property sector on the whole, because Evergrande isn't the only one that has defaulted. I'm looking at some of the numbers here. 2/3 of developers have missed bond payments. So what is the implication here now that we've had the first domino to collapse? What is the implication for others like Country Garden, like Longfor?
Yeah, I think the implications are pretty negative. Evergrande is not going to be the first default and I think liquidation story you get in China. We are going to see more of this happening. And we're going to see the property market really be in, I think, a long-term restructuring, another 3 to 4 years easily. Now, we might get some reprieve in between as far as we're just talking about things like property values and so forth falling. We might get some reprieve and breathers in between. Of course, this year, Beijing has to step in and do something about that. Otherwise, it's going to just dampen, I think, household sentiment and consumer sentiment across the board. Property could potentially bring other things down with it in the short run.
What about the enforcement of this Hong Kong ruling that has been handed down by the judge here? How difficult do you think it is going to be for these liquidators to be able to do what they are meant to do on the mainland?
Yeah, it's my understanding that we might also get a different set of administrators ultimately appointed on the mainland. But at the end of the day, what we need to remember and what markets really need to understand is that the policymakers on the mainland, they don't really, quite frankly, care about creditor interest. Their main concern is making sure that folks that have paid for their homes ultimately get a house or an apartment that they're waiting on. Their desire is to ultimately put a floor under the property market to stabilize the situation and to stabilize the overall economic growth, because that's the real problem over here.